Okay, wonderful. So Russell is the technological expert, but I'm familiar with the Edmodo page. So I'm going to lead you through it slowly. And please, as Jimena says, please use the chat because I'm really good at reading both of them. Let me open it up and make sure I have that on my screen. And Jimena will help answer them and I will read them too, okay? So anyway, welcome everyone. And yes, thank you for being punctual. We know that sometimes time is flexible in certain countries. I'm from New York originally, and time is not flexible where I'm from. Time is a religion. But I've lived in Spain for a long time, so I've been here about 20 years. I'm still getting used to it. I still get annoyed when people are late. So let's begin. And the problem is that the time change happened on Sunday, and Russell must have been confused. So don't worry, he's going to be here. He's really excited about this. Today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, we're going to be doing a series. I'm going to begin with very, very basic Edmodo methods of uploading your materials. And then tomorrow and Wednesday, okay, something has happened.
Al parlantito, mira te puedo llamar al video para que me digas la cámara como silenciar.
All right, I'm going to turn off my camera because you don't need to see me really. You need to see the screen, all right? And that way the system won't crash. All right, so let me make sure this is working. What we're doing today is essentially what you do in your classrooms, and that's taking all the reading, writing, listening, speaking, and assessments, and we're putting them on a platform. This is complementary to any platform you're using right now, all right? So the idea is that today you're going to learn the very, very basic setup for Edmodo, and anyone can do it. If I can do it, you all can do it. And what I'm going to show you the very basic way you can take your textbook, whatever textbook you're using, whatever material you're using, I'm going to show you how you can put it onto the platform. Then on Tuesday, someone is yelling at his dog. We need to make sure all the microphones are off, please. So Tuesday, we're going to do a little more of, we're going to do an introduction to Zoom, which means you can have online lessons with your students. And I'm going to show you how you can add scaffolding to your lessons. I call them sparkles because it's a lot more fun. And then on Wednesday, Russell is going to keep working on Zoom, doing advanced settings for Zoom and for Edmodo, and show you how to do student participation, put them in breakout rooms and that sort of thing. And I'm going to show you how you can turn all of your lessons into projects. Because one thing that we really can do with all the students home is do more intensive work and make it a lot more interesting. All right, so any problems with that, you let me know, but those are our objectives for these 3 days. So Russell is going to start. We're having trouble, he's going to be connecting anytime soon, so I'm just going to go ahead. Now, I want to repeat, my specialty is adding sparkles to whatever lesson you're working on. So it was very difficult for me to hold back and just do the basic textbook. But first, I want to show you how to do the basic uploading, and then tomorrow and Wednesday, I can show you how to make it more fun. So I'm using this is a new publication by Richmond, but it could be anything you're using. I'm using this just because it's set up like most other textbooks. These are the pages of this unit. It's going to look familiar. There are pictures, there are text, there's assessment, right? There's true or false questions, there's multiple choice questions, text, etc. So what I want to do is show you in Edmodo. Now, are any of you familiar with Edmodo? Have any of you worked on it yet? Let me see if I can get this. Okay, I see. Okay, so a lot of you, some of you have, some of you have not. All right. Let me just get to the end. I realized that I was already here. Okay, let me keep going. All right, Edmodo, maybe I should go to Edmodo and just show you. All right, I'm going to show you. You're going to be more familiar with this once Russell connects. So, just trying to figure out the best way to do this for you. Now, if I go here, can you see my page, Edmodo? You're looking at my internet connection now. Can everybody see that?
I can see setting up a basic class.
Yes.
Is that what you wanted to see?
Yeah, it's going a little slowly. That's why we didn't want to do it this way. I have most of them recorded. This is the Edmodo page, and this is what we're going to be talking about. So it's very easy to go into Edmodo and register. And what you're going to see once you register, and you will do this later on. So we're going to repeat all of this. You're going to be masters at this. This is my page, and this is what I created to show you. And I called it Setting Up Basic Class. Tomorrow you're going to see another one. I have publications on the left, I have folders, and I have members. I have 3 of my pets who are members because these are the students, for instance. On the top we have, these are the ones that you usually see in any Facebook page or any Moodle page. So what I'm going to be doing is showing you basically 4 ways to upload materials, okay?
Donna,
So I'm going to go
apparently not everyone is seeing your Edmodo page.
Okay, now do you see the presentation?
Yeah, I think some of us are looking at the PowerPoint.
Okay. All right, that's fine. We're going to go to the PowerPoint, and I'm going to begin. I'm going to take those pages, and I'm going to upload them onto the Edmodo page. So the first way we can do this is simply a post, and most of you probably are familiar with Facebook. So basically what we're doing here is making a post. And I'm saying this is when we just say hello to our students, and we say we're going to begin, because you know all of them and they know all of you, we're going to begin Unit 4 today. And I could say to them, I want you to do activity 2 before we have our Zoom meeting later. And what you're seeing now is that I'm uploading the first 2 pages of the unit. Why am I doing this? Probably your students have their students' book at home, but I don't ever want a student to say to me, I left it at school or I lost it, and they have an excuse not to do the work. So I always put the pages on the platform just so they have no excuses. I think that's brilliant, personally. So here we have the greeting, the welcoming post, and I put the first 2 pages on, and I'm asking them to do activity 2 before their Zoom meeting. That's the first thing we can do. Now, I see we're doing this again. No, I want to go on. All right. The thing about posts is that the only way to get feedback from the students is if they post something back to you. So it's a lot of reading. So we want to find a way for the system to do a lot of work. Now, over on the right, you're going to see, here we have, sorry, go on the left. We're going to open up some folders. I don't want to have to upload pages every time I'm doing an activity. So here's what I'm doing is I'm opening up a folder, and you see it's all in Spanish because I'm in Spain and I never changed the language, but it's better for all of you, even though your English is perfect. So these are all the pages from the unit, and I've scanned them in before, and now I'm choosing them, and I'm going to upload them into the folder. And you see they're all there. That's really important because what we can do now is we can get them in the library. These are going to be here so that we don't have to look in our own folders. It will always be in this class. So if you see on the top, it says Biblioteca. I don't want to click there because I'm not really on the Edmodo page. This is a tape, so it goes faster. But if you go there, you will now have all of those pages there. Okay, so we're going to use them for all the rest of the activities. Now, we have all of these pages. I'm just being dramatic. All of these pages from Unit 4 are now in my Edmodo classroom. Very exciting. All of you are familiar with scanning. You know how to do that, I assume. You have printers that can also scan. Yes? All right. So I'm going to start with this page. This is the first page. However, the truth is, I'm not going to do anything here. Why? Because it begins with an audio. This audio is rather complicated. If I were going into one of your classes to help you use scaffolding, I would choose this activity to begin. I'll play the audio for you later, but it shows you a lot of instruments that are not the instruments you usually see. So I'm going to skip over it because this needs scaffolding and we're going to do this tomorrow. I'm also not going to use this image because it's a bit enigmatic. I know what it means. You probably know what it means. If we're talking about music, it's saying, did you know? And probably what the insinuation is, did you know there are different types of music, string instruments and woodwind instruments? This is not probably the unit you're going to be working on, but I just want you to consider what makes sense to you and what probably will make sense to your students. This image is not very easy to understand. So I'm going to ignore that also and show you another way to approach this whole page tomorrow. What I am going to do is go on. So this button is our savior, basically. This button is where we're going to be able to do everything. So when you go into your Edmodo page, that's pretty much what you're going to do most of the time, is choose, this is what you're going to see. You're either going to choose an assignment, copy an assignment, create a quiz, or put a quiz, send it out to the students. Now, one of the problems with Edmodo, and there aren't many, but Russell is going to go over the advantages and disadvantages of Edmodo. He uses this all the time. He's used this for 10 years and he's pretty much a representative of Edmodo, but there are definitely disadvantages. And the name, prueba, quizzes, is one of the disadvantages. Let's ignore it and call it exercises. We can use this for in five different ways to upload exercises so our students will do them and the system is going to assess most of it, all right? So let's take the second page of the unit and we're going to put this activity 4 onto the system. How? In this case, if you see I've clicked on the button, I'm using an assignment. Now, you'll see that I put the title. I'm just going to put the page number. These are our students. Let's make it very, very basic. The title is the page number in the activity, and I'm putting the instructions that come right out of the book. I'm taking the image from the book that I scanned before, and I'm uploading it. All right, so far. So now it's uploading. We're going to see it. Everyone with me so far, right? I see some people smiling, so I think that's a good sign. If you're not smiling, frown, so I know something's wrong. Okay, we have this here. Now I'm going to show you what else. I'm going to put a date. This is when I want the students to do it, on Wednesday and at 12 a.m. So I'm assigning it. And you'll see that it now appears on my Edmodo page. I put setting up the basic class, and if you see in the bottom, it says page 47, number 3. Okay, this is not what I want you to do. Why? Because I gave it an assignment. An assignment means when your students send their answers back to you, you have to read everything. So this could be done much more easily, and I'm going to show you why. I did this on purpose. I don't want you to choose assignments. So I'm going to show you how we're going to go to this page, and I'm going to show you how to upload the information from your textbooks, and the system itself will correct it. Okay? So This is an exercise about buying tickets. The students have to read the small subheading. Jordan likes classical music, but he doesn't like symphonies. And then you have to read the details of the 2 tickets and choose the answer. Well, if your students were in front of you, all they do was circle it, and you'd go around the room and just check their work. You can't do this. You're in a different house. You can't go to their house, and you don't really want to anyway, right? So what can we do? Well, we're going to press our magic button over on the right, our magic blue button. We're going to choose a quiz. And remember, let's just give it a name of exercises. I'm going to put the page number and the exercise. And I'm putting down exactly what it says on the page. I'm typing this in. Now, I type fast, so it's no problem for me. It may take you a little longer, but watch how easy the rest of this is. All right, I go into, on the left-hand side, questions for the quiz, questions for the exercise. And I'm going to pick multiple choice. And you see right there, you can choose true or false, multiple choice, short answers, fill in the blanks, matching, or the new one here is multiple answers. We're going to do all of those right now so that you can see all of your different options, okay? So I'm choosing multiple choice, and I'm going to show you how the shortcuts that we can take. So I'm putting in this text again, and then I'm going to attach something. Oops, I went ahead, a mistake. All right, let's try it one more time. All right, so what I'm going to show you is that how you can scan the materials. Do you all know how to do a capture screen? I work on a Mac, and when I want to do a capture screen, I do Control, Shift, and number 4. On a PC, it's even easier. But I'm going to show you right now how I took the page and captured 3 different images. I took the first one, and you'll see I'm also copying the text so that I don't have to write that text. I'm copying it into the image. Right? So this is my preliminary work. Now I have them. It's going to come up in my images. So all I need to do now is attach archives, attach the document. I choose one of them. And the question and answer is right there. All I need to do now is go into the answers. I eliminated one of them. I don't know if you saw that. It's really important to see, whenever you see a multiple choice, you're going to get 3. The template is 3. If you look on the bottom left, it says add one, but we can also delete them. Since this page, since this exercise only has 2 choices, we're going to eliminate them. So you'll see I eliminate one immediately. And all I'm going to put in is ticket on the left, and I'm saying green to make it so easy they can't mistake it. Ticket on the right, the yellow one. And I'm going to choose, that's the right one. Now, on the bottom, it says add one. So I'm going to add another question. I'm uploading the image, the second image, that has the question and the answer in it. And you'll see it comes up really quickly, depending on your connection. And then all I have to do on the bottom is write in. This time I'm just saying ticket on the left and ticket on the right. Here we can do a little bit of vocabulary for them. And I have one more to do. So I'm adding one more. And you see right there what I did. And this might happen to you. I said I was going to add one, and then I went to assign it. And this is the message I got. Don't panic if you get this message. It says you made a mistake. The mistake I made was I didn't finish the last question. It's showing me that I have more work to do. So all I do is close it and do the last question. All right, so I'm putting the text in again. I'm uploading the third image. And now I have to remember, delete one of the multiple choices. And this time I'm only putting the color in. making it a little challenging. The black ticket and the light green ticket. And that's it. I've just created an activity. I assign it. Let's see what date I gave for the students. You can choose any date you want. Russell is going to show you some other options on this. If you see on here, this is the date I say they have to do it for Wednesday at 12 a.m. At 12:01, they're late. Now, I could have pressed lock after due date, which means at 12:01, they cannot do this assignment anymore. But I don't do it because Russell is going to show you later that you're going to see if the students do it late or not. But I do a lot of online work, and if my students write to me and say, I forgot about the deadline, or my car broke down and I couldn't get home in time to finish the assignment, could you open it up for me again, please? Which is worse? Putting a lock date and showing them that you're serious, or having to open it up again time after time for each student? I would say leave it like this because you'll know in any case. All right, so now we have the due date, the exercise is complete. It now shows up on the page. So we've now uploaded an exercise that the system will correct. Russell is going to show you later how we assess this. You don't have to do anything. You're going to like doing this more than being in school because the computer is going to do most of it. All right, any questions about this so far? I'm going to show you another way now. This is another multiple choice, but here we're going to capture an image that basically does the whole thing for us. So we click on our magic blue button, we choose quizzes, we gave it the page number, we put all this information in the instructions, we go to questions, and this we're going to still do multiple choice. All right, but now I'm going to upload the image that basically has said everything. This is an easy one. In this image, you're going to find this in your own textbooks. Here are the different options. Now, this is for an audio. So we can upload another archive, another document. I'm now going to upload the audio. And this is brilliant because they can listen to it over and over again if they want to. And I love this idea. So I have the audio in my files. I've now uploaded it. And all I have to do after this is just put the different options into the multiple choice. And the options are directly from the book. So I put them here. I go to add another question because I think there are 7 options. So I just keep keep clicking on this until I have all the options. And all I need to do is make sure on the right, I click the one that's correct. And now the question is done. Okay, here's another brilliant part of Edmodo. Since that one image has all the questions and answers, I could go to add another question, but most of my work is already done. So I'm going to go to copy the question. And if I go to copy, it means all the information is already there. The audio is all there. The only thing it hasn't copied are the answers. Now, the strange thing is sometimes the answers are copied and some they're not. In this case, it wasn't, so I just go through it again. But you see, it's going really quickly. And it doesn't matter if these answers are in a different order as long as you click the one that's correct. All right, so now we have all of them. I think I did one more. I go to copy again. And we have another exercise all ready to go. And I'm going to give this due date on Thursday, and they have till 10 a.m. to finish it. I don't lock it. I just assign it, and now it's on your page. right? So this, you can see that it doesn't take a lot of time. All we do is look at our book and figure out what's the best way on this magic blue button to upload it. All right. Am I going too fast, or are you all with me? You're all okay? Let me just check the chat. Jimena, you're there, so you'll tell me if everyone's, yeah, it looks like everyone's okay. Excellent.
Yeah, everyone's okay. I'm here.
Great. Thank you. Okay, so let's go to another one. This one, let me just see. This one has, I decided to do one more multiple choice because it's a little different. We go to our magic blue button. All right, we go to create an exercise. We put the page number here. We put the instructions directly from the page, and we go to create the questions. So I'm doing the multiple choice, but this is a little different this time. We have different images here. And so what they need to do is the answers are going to be longer than the actual question. All right, here I'm putting in Louis Armstrong, Bob Marley. You're going to see Beethoven. And I want someone to tell me if you find the mistake I make here. I decided not to go back and fix it because I'm going to correct it tomorrow and show you how to correct these things. Has anyone seen the mistake I made yet? All right, so here I'm duplicating it. This time the answers came up, and all I have to do is change this, the A, B, C, and D. I just have to change this part, okay? And change the answer. And I'm duplicating it again. I'm copying this question again. And for some reason this time the answers weren't copied, but I just have to copy them in. Has anyone caught the mistake?
I think they have.
Yeah. Yes, you caught it, you got it. I think it's really funny because I didn't realize till later that I had done it. And one reason I have to tell you is because in Spain, for some reason, they love the Beatles. They love them. And I really am not a big Beatles fan, so I think it was partly that I just couldn't be bothered correcting it. And also I'm working on a natural science textbook for Richmond. So I was thinking of the beetle. All right, in any case, it's good that I did that because tomorrow I'm going to show you how to correct these things. Because what we need to do is copy and paste. You can't just go back in and do it. So now we have another exercise. It's all uploaded to the platform. I'm giving it a date. I decided this needs till Sunday for them to do it, and they have till 4 a.m. For all the people that don't like to go to sleep, they have to 4 a.m. to finish it. All right. So we have all these on the Moodle page. And now we're going to do a few more kinds. If you notice on the right, the next exercise is not multiple choice. So how can we put that kind of exercise onto a platform? Do any of you already have to do this on your platform at school? Have you had to upload the material or was it already there? That's my question right now. Louis Armstrong, Anna, did I do another typo for Louis Armstrong? I didn't even notice that, but thank you, I'll check that. All right, you have to upload the material. Is it like this, or do you just have to scan it in? You have to create a new one. Some of you already have it. Okay. So when you say you had to upload it all, for instance, Maria, Teresa, Catalina, you have an ebook. Okay, that's a lot easier. Blanca, you all have to upload it all. Do you have to upload it like as I'm showing you, or just scan in the pages and send it to your students? So many of you, the ebooks are a lot easier. You use forms, so you have to do it both ways. All right, scans sometimes, they already have the books. All right, so I'm also working under the premise that your students have the books, but you have no way of checking the books unless they take a picture of themselves and send it to you, and that's very time consuming. So with the Edmodo platform, it's going to do most of the work for you. All right, send them to your students, they solved it, and send me another document. Okay, so Stephanie, this is going to be easier, I think. I think it's going to be easier, because you'll see later with Russell, when he shows you how the system corrects this, you don't have to do much. All right, so I'm going to show you now with fill in the blanks. Here we have fill in the blanks, and the system is also going to correct this. So we go to the magic blue button, we go to quizzes, exercises. All right, we put in the page number. We put in the instructions. All right, and then we go to create questions, and this time I'm going to pick, if you saw, I'm picking fill in the blanks. All right, so how do fill in the blanks work? A lot more simple than you may think. Here I put in the information that I want. I haven't uploaded any image yet, and you don't have to. In this case, you do not have to include an image. I'm going to, just a little news flash, because I love images, but don't worry about it. All right, so how does fill in the blank work? All you have to do is delete the words that you want them to add in and put an underscore in. So you're going to see that I take out "do you like the most" and put an underscore there. Now on the bottom, immediately, if you see respuestas, it says what kind of music, and then a box and a question mark. Do you all see that? The minute I put an underscore in, that appears. We'll show you, look at that in the second. We're going to take out all kinds. I put an underscore, and immediately on the bottom, it appears as a box. Now, all we have to do now is fill in the box with the correct answer. So I'm uploading an image now. So remember, you don't have to upload an image, but I like images. And this is just finding the image I've already scanned in. It's going to open up, and you see it's the same as the page on the left. Here, what I'm doing is I'm writing in the answers. Right? So the system, when the students write in, okay, let me just go back a teeny bit. If you'll see in the box, I also wrote in the options. Oops, pressed the wrong button there. If you see here, let's see where it did it. Okay. I'm going to show you in the box at the top where I put in the options the students can choose from, so they don't just make this up. The book has the options in the light green on the left. So I put them, if you see on the page on the left, it says all kinds, do you like most, minus hip hop. I just added that to this box. So you see them there. So the students know what their options are. And now when they get this exercise, they can choose which one is the most appropriate. And again here, instead of creating a new question, I'm copying this question so that most of the information is already there and I don't have to type it in again. Okay, so you see all I have to do is change the top part, and I'm putting in the sentences. I'm deleting the part I want them to fill in with an underscore, and you see the box appears there. I'm typing in the answer, so the system corrects it itself. And I go to I'm also eliminating this picture because it's not the right one. I'm putting in another one. Only if you want to, people, only if you want to. Again, I like images. I think it makes it so much more inviting. I'm going to copy this question so it has most of the information already there. I'm just going to change these two sentences. I took them directly from the page. Now I'm going to eliminate. I wrote Beatles incorrectly here, by the way. This is when I realized that I'd written it incorrectly before. You see I put an underscore there. I'm changing it. Doesn't actually matter if this was incorrect, as long as it's correct in the box below. All right, and now we have, I'm eliminating this and putting in another image from the page itself. Don't worry about this if you don't want to do it. Later on, you'll get more comfortable and you'll think it's fun. All right, and then I put in here down on the bottom, I'm putting in the correct answers in the box. Okay. All right, and so that's it. Those are the questions we now have. Fill in the blanks online. The system will correct all of this. Are you have any questions on this, or you feel comfortable with this so far? I'm going to assign it. I think I've decided that, yeah, Saturday is a good date for this. Choose anything you want. And I've given them to 8 a.m. so they can sleep a little bit. All right. Okay, and so now we have a new exercise uploaded to the page. All right, any questions so far? Are we doing okay? You with me? All right, good, 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 good. Hot potatoes, interesting. I don't know hot potatoes in the classroom. Yeah, you have to practice. Yes. Okay, good. My goodness, you're all so positive. I'm so used to the Spaniards that are very pessimistic, but I can say that because nobody's listening here. All right, somehow, let me just put this away. No, I don't want to do that. Let's see, are we still connected? Can you see the PowerPoint still? Something happened. Let's
No,
see.
not the PowerPoint, no.
No.
Okay, let me see if I can. It says, I don't want to get out of the reunion. Yes, I want to continue. All right, so let's go.
Need to screen share.
Yeah, somehow it stopped. Thank you. Okay, now can you see it again? Oh, Russell,
Yes.
you're there.
Yes.
Russell, hi. All right, Russell, I told him that with the time change, it was all very confusing, so don't worry about it. No, don't worry. But we can't hear you, Russell. Don't worry. I told him you're going to make everything so clear after this.
You're doing a fantastic job. I'm really sorry. I just completely got the time wrong, because there was a time change in England and I thought it was 4 o'clock. I'm profusely apologize. You're doing a great job anyway.
Okay,
Yes,
well, thank
you
you.
are.
Russell has been my teacher, so it's all a compliment. What we can do, Russell, I'm almost finishing, so if you want, I just have, I think, 2 more exercises to show them, and then you can start with yours. Is that all right?
That's absolutely fine. You carry on.
Okay, so if that's okay with all of you, Itana, you're getting me dizzy. You're walking around the house, aren't you? Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, so you've done fill in the blanks. Yeah, a couple more. So here we have a graph, and I decided not to do this because it's another multiple choice. I don't need to show you this again. And so what I'd like to do is do this tomorrow or Wednesday and show you a more dynamic way of dealing with graphs. I'm also not going to do activities 2 or 3 because it's the same multiple choice. I think you already got it. We don't need to do this. On 4, it's a true or false. So I am going to do this, even though I think you all are intelligent enough to figure it out yourselves. It's just like all the other ones. We're going to our magic blue button, and this time we're going to choose the exercises as usual. All right, I'm going to write the page number as before, the activity. I'm going to put the instructions right from the page in the book. And then I'm going to go to create the pages for the exercise. And for true or false, it's really easy. If you see there, I created the true or false. There's only 2 options. I'm uploading an image just because, as I said, I love images. In this case, we do need it.
The image is frozen at the moment.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not seeing that on the screen at the moment. Are you sharing your PowerPoint presentation?
Yeah. Interesting.
Turn the screen share off.
Okay. And try it again? Yeah,
try it again. Because at the moment, all I'm seeing is the screen's frozen, Donna.
Okay. Yeah, you know what this is? I went into Edmodo to show them. I'm going to get out of there. So let me go back. What I can do, you know, Russell, what I think would make more sense if you want, I could let you go ahead and start and then do the rest of this tomorrow. What do you think?
Okay, but I'm going to insist on something. If we do this presentation, really, you shouldn't all have your webcams on, because if you've all got your webcams on, it's going to really slow down the process. If everyone's running their webcams, it's really unusual to do that. Can I ask you to turn them off? Because to run so many webcams through a Zoom system, if you're doing a presentation, it's going to freeze the screen sometimes. It's really not a good idea.
All right, so if that's all right with you,
as many people as possible to turn their webcams off. I'll do the presentation and go for it, and then I think you'll find that the technology will work a lot better.
Yeah, I know, Kata, I know. You like to be seen and you like to see everybody. I love to see all of you too. But Russell's right, it'll go much better, and he's got to work online.
I'm going to be screen sharing as well, so it's really not going to work. Could I please ask you to turn off your, if you don't mind, just while I do this presentation, many of you turn off as possible.
Okay, so Felipe, Itana, do you mind turning off your cameras?
I'm sorry. We'll be coming to the chat with no problem when we need to ask questions and stuff, but if we could, it would really help.
Okay. Todos apagados las cámaras. Podemos apagar las cámaras si no os importa, ¿de acuerdo? Y luego podemos encenderlos de nuevo para veros.
Exactamente. Lo que pasa es que vamos con tanta gente utilizando las cámaras, de verdad que afecta la calidad de la presentación. Y afecta mucho, de verdad. Es una cosa que vamos a aprender mañana cuando trabajamos con Zoom. Anyway, listen, first of all, I'm really sorry. I apologize because I was meant to come on first, and Donna's done a fantastic job of taking you through Edmodo. We have a time change here, and on my system, it was telling me to come in at 4 o'clock. So I came in at 3:30, half an hour early, and then realized that you were already in your presentation. So that wasn't a very good start. But let me see if I can help a little bit. I'm going to do a really quick little bit of presentation, just talking a little bit about teaching online. That's my expertise. And hopefully through doing that, we're going to then dive into actually using, to actually looking at Edmodo and thinking about how we might organize our classes. When we teach online, there are really 2 things that you need to think about. You need to think about a platform for organizing your students, and that's really what Donna was showing you today. A platform like Edmodo, or a platform like Moodle, or a platform like, for example, It's Learning. You need a platform to organize the content, and then you need another platform for doing the live lesson. The one that we're using now, Zoom, would be a really good example. You need a place for the students to go online and find all their content, so that they can come into the platform, they can feel part of the class. They can you turn off your audio as well, because I can hear all the audio as well. So they can come into a class, they can be in a class, and they can see their friends, etc. And they can then work with the platform. Sorry. I can hear loads of sound. Could you turn off the audio? I'm sorry, guys, but it's very difficult to do a presentation if the audio is on as well. Please, can you just mute the sound? Right. So you need a platform. Okay, you need a platform. That's the psychological part of the students kind of logging in and seeing that they're in a group. That's where you give them your homework. That's where you give them your activities, etc. So you need that platform. It could be Edmodo, it could be Moodle, it could be the platform that Richmond provide. But you need some central place where your students log in and they feel part of a class. And then you need the live session. So when we're looking at training, and when I'm doing teacher training, I'm trying to get teachers to understand those two parts of what we do when we teach online. So when we think of something like Edmodo, okay, and what Donna was just showing you before, it really does three things. Edmodo organizes the students. So it puts them into a class. When you go onto Edmodo, you create your classes and the students log into the class. They're in the class with you, and now you can start to write to them and share videos with them and do quizzes, as Donna was showing you, and do assignments, etc. Now you have a place to organize your students. Psychologically, your students are logging in to their classroom. It's also where you can communicate with your students. So from a communication point of view, whenever you teach fully online, you really do need this platform. Edmodo is a really good example. You also need content, and this is where you can share your content. So it's a place where you can link to content from the Richmond books, for example. So it can be content that you're going to share, or it can be content that you share from YouTube or you share from the internet. So the platform organizes the students, it provides them with the content, but it also creates the activities like the quizzes and the discussions and the assignments and the polls that you just saw Donna doing. So it's almost impossible to be teaching online if you don't have a platform to organize your students. That's why you always need these two things: platform, which we're looking at today, and then Zoom, which we're going to look at tomorrow, and then on the last day as well.
Sorry, Russell, we just had a question. They're wondering if Zoom is free.
Zoom is not free for big classes. We'll be talking about that tomorrow. Zoom is free at the moment for classes for up to, I think it's 45 minutes. So you can, at the moment, you can use Zoom to teach online for up to 45 minutes, I think with a maximum of 300 students. So for now, at the moment, it is free. Normally, it's not free. Zoom seems to be the platform of choice for the live teaching. Don't forget, please be careful. That's only one part. Your students do a Zoom, they finish the class. What do they do afterwards? How do they connect afterwards? You need a platform as well. You must have both, okay? The two together is what makes a successful learning course. I've been teaching online and running online courses for 20 years. And those are the two key features that you need. I'll come back to the questions in a minute. So when you're looking at this platform, or Edmodo or Moodle or It's Learning, you're going to organize your students into a group. That means that you can create your classes, they come in, you can communicate with them, you can track them, you can even put them into subgroups, which we'll look at tomorrow, etc. So organization is the key thing. The first key thing. The second thing is the content from the publishers or content that you make, content maybe that you link to from the internet. This is why you need this platform. So I finish my live lesson, I go onto the platform, I do the homework, I do the quizzes, I do the assignments, I have the discussions, and I've covered both things, live session, platform. That's why you need both.
Russell, sorry, I just wanted to, one thing, some people are putting in, just like you expected, that they can do Class Dojo or Google Drive. Can you explain to them why the advantages and disadvantages of those?
Yeah, we'll definitely come to that in a minute. I think so. It's an excellent class. So jumping in a sec, let me just finish this part and then I'll jump out the presentation and we'll deal with some questions. It's brilliant that you're focusing on the questions because when I'm presenting, I'm not looking at the questions. So good. Okay, so one of the things to understand about something like Edmodo is that it actually is built within the context, the idea, the concept of a classroom. So you'll see in a minute when I show you, you create a class, you get a code, You give that code to the students. Your students log into the class. They are in a classroom environment. In other words, online. They can do quizzes. They can do assignments. They can have discussions. They can see their friends. They can share content on the timeline. When you work with something like Google Classroom, it's not quite the same. Google Classroom is more a type of ecosystem for the different types of products that are available within Google, like Google Docs, Google Forms, using Gmail. It's very good, but it's a different way of working. It's not quite the same as Edmodo. Edmodo is very much based on the school online. There's a kind of psychological thing about Edmodo, that you actually join a class. Your friends are in the class with you. You put something on the wall. It's just like Facebook. You put something on the wall, everybody in your class sees you. All these other tools are excellent. You have to make your own choice. It doesn't have to be Edmodo. It could be Schoology. It could be a product that Richmond offers. It could be Moodle. It could be Eats Learning. Each one is a little bit different. But I like Edmodo because I like, especially for learners, this idea that they are going into a class, that this is their class online. And that's the reason I like working with it. It's also a very easy tool to learn. I run a lot of training courses in Edmodo, and basically in about half a day to a day, someone can really learn to use Edmodo well. And they can have their students organized in their classes. You'll see in a minute. And it's quite a nice system to use in that way. I'll quickly take you through an example in a minute. Okay. Let me just jump out of my presentation at this just quick step a minute, and let's just have a quick look at my Moodle account. Okay, so I think I've got it up here on the screen. I'm going to click on it and show you. So hopefully, actually, let me jump to the other one. There might be, let me just hang on, let me just stop sharing a minute. Just open up the other one. 1 second. Just make sure I've got the right one open. Right, lovely. Just going to come back into the presentation. Lovely. So screen share, and let's see if I can find my example of my Moodle rather than, that's it, lovely. That's the one I want, sorry. Right, this is my Moodle platform. Okay, you can see I'm on the home page, and let me just see if I can move that out of the way a minute. And if I look here, I've got all my classes and I've got all my groups. Now, if I go into one of my groups, to give you an example, let me come into this one here, blended learning. So I'm coming into this group now. Okay, this is one of the reasons why I needed you to turn off your cameras, because when I'm doing this takes quite a lot of screen power. It takes a lot of processing power. So I can see all the members of this group. I can click here. I can see all my students. They're all there. Okay. I can go to my posts. It's just like working with Facebook. If I write anything here, okay, and if I share a video or share a PDF file or share a link, immediately I click on post, that content goes straight to my students. I've got a direct way now of connecting with my students simply by just posting to them. I know that everybody logged into that class can now access that content. I can share anything from my computer, as Donna was saying, images, video content, PDFs. I could link to content from the Richmond books. I could upload PDFs of the Richmond books. Immediately, I have a way of sharing content with my students. And also, when I share content, for example, here I've got a video that I've shared. My students can reply to me. It's just like Facebook. It's very natural for students to move to Edmodo because they recognize the wall like they do Facebook. So they can comment on anything. They can click here and write their comment, and they can add a picture or add a video. So immediately, one of the things about Edmodo is it's very much based on communication. That immediately you've got a way of sharing content with your students. Now, everything that you do here on the wall, everything that you do on the wall, that is going to be shared publicly. All of the students will see that. However, if you create, and Donna was showing you earlier, if you create a quiz or an assignment, that is only you and the student. So you upload the quiz, the student does the quiz, you can see that they've done the quiz, you can check. The communication is directly between you and the student. And the same if you do an assignment. If you create an assignment, the students do the assignment, you will see, it will tell you students have done the assignment, you click, you give them a mark, and the communication is between you and the student. So when the students do an assignment or do a quiz, and the students then, after they've done it, you can give them their feedback, or as Donna said, if you do a quiz, you can do it automatically. You put the answers into Edmodo, you don't have to do anything. Students do the quiz, and everything is done. You wake up the next day, the students have done the quiz. This is very powerful. Everything in Edmodo is tracked. Let me give you an example. If I come up to my classes, let me just come back a minute to the home page. If I come up here to my classes, 1 minute, let me just see if I can. So if I come up here, I've got my classes on this side, and I've got my, we normally use classes when we're talking about students, and we normally talk about groups. We use, if we're doing groups, we're normally talking about teacher training. So normally when we're dividing up the way that we want to use Edmodo, if we're going to use it for teaching students, we use classes. And if we're going to use it for teaching teacher trainers, then we normally use groups, okay? So if I want to make a class really quickly, all right, let me just give you an example. If I want to make a class, I literally click here, click on create a class, I fill in that information and click on create, and immediately it will produce a code. Let me give you an example. So if I was to come down to, sorry, that class is blocked, so it actually doesn't matter, but let me just come to another one. Let me come to this one here. I can unlock it. As soon as you create a class, it creates a code. So every class you create, you have a separate code. You give that code to your students log in, now you are connected with them. So if you're teaching maybe 5 or 6 different classes, you can simply make a class for each group of students that you're working with, send the code to the students, and they can log into that class. When all your students are logged in, you can lock the class, and then nobody else can join. So you can actually click on lock. All of the students that have already logged in, they're okay, they can come in and out, but nobody else can join the class at that point. Donna, I'm going to come back and see, has anyone got any questions at that point? Is anything coming on the screen that I need to know about?
Well, the most important questions they have are about Zoom and Edmodo. They want to know if there's any way to do live Edmodo, and I keep trying to explain to them that it's Zoom. So that's why you use both tools.
Listen, brilliant question though. Look, this is what Donna and I have been discussing this week. You must understand, you need both. You need, because Zoom just does a live lesson. But what do the students do after? So when you leave me today in Zoom, what happens? We have no way of being connected. But if I have you also connected on Edmodo, then I can tell you, now go to home to do the homework. Now read such and such a book and answer the questions in the quiz. Now go to page blah, blah, blah in the book, and then go on to Edmodo and do the assignments. You need both. Okay, so when I run my teacher training courses in how to teach online with Niall, for example, and we have a big training course at the moment, those courses have 2 parts in them, okay? They have the part for the platform and the part for the live. Now, if you get confident with Zoom, if you get confident with it, then you will realize that you can actually use Zoom and Edmodo together like I'm doing now. I could, if I was teaching you, I could give you a link now to Edmodo and say, go off, do a quiz. You've got 5 minutes, then come back. So that ability to connect Zoom and Edmodo is very powerful, but not at the beginning. At the beginning, you need to understand Zoom, and you need to understand Edmodo. You need to get good with them, and then you can start to link them together. I hope that makes sense.
Russell, do you have any experience with using Zoom for very young students?
I have no experience at all, as in me teaching. I've watched many classes, and I have to say it's very difficult. If you're talking about students, say, that are 6, 7 years old, sometimes can be really difficult to keep them motivated online. I've observed many classes in China using Zoom, using other tools, and it can be really difficult, I must admit.
Okay, that was just their question. Is Zoom better for preschool, primary, or secondary? So I guess their parents should be around.
Yes, that's one possibility. Look, I think one really important thing to say here, this is not ideal way of teaching young learners, especially if they're in groups of 10, 12, 15, 20 students. It's okay with perhaps older students, yes, but we have no choice at the moment. We have no choice in terms of everyone's kind of forced into this situation of using Zoom. But would I like to use Zoom with my young learners? No. From what I've seen, no. There are a few good teachers who are good with it, but you've got to be really very practiced. I think it's hard to teach young learners on an online platform like Zoom.
Okay, so
we've
then
got no choice though.
All right, so Russell, then they're going back to the code. What they're asking is, how do they sign up, I guess?
Yeah, well, it's really easy. You go onto Edmodo, you simply create an account, okay? When you create an account, once you've got an account, you can create as many classes as you want, okay? So you can have 30, 40, 50. I've got maybe 100 classes. For each class you create, you have a code. You send that code to your students. Your students go onto Edmodo, they log in as a student, they write their name, no email address, they put their name, they put the code, and they can enter your class. And immediately you have a way of connecting with them. This is not for the live lesson. The live lesson is going to be Zoom, or it's going to be Adobe Connect, or it's going to be WebEx, or whatever tool you want. This is what do the students do after the live lesson. Now, I'm not sure what tools Richmond have, because maybe Richmond Publishing have a good product that you can go online to do the exercises, but you need that. You need both parts. Edmodo is a good example of a technology, one of many, that we can use to organize the students after the live lesson. You don't use Edmodo for a live lesson. However, if you get good, you can start combining the two if you're clever. Once you get skilled, once you get kind of used to using Zoom, then you will be able to do that. Yeah. Campus is another platform. There are many platforms, okay? I'm not trying to say that it has to be Zoom. For some reason, everybody seems to be using Zoom for the live lessons. Everyone around the world seems to be using Zoom. I don't know why it's become so popular, but it has. Any more questions, Donna, that I could deal with?
I think we can go on for the time being. Okay,
lovely. So let me just jump back into the presentation then. Okay, so just to take it a little bit further. Okay, let's just see if I can, right, I'm just going to show you something really nice, okay? I'm going to roll over here. And so if I can do this, hang on a minute. For some reason, when I'm screen sharing, this is not working very well, but I think I can do it. This is lovely. I'm going to show you something I love. As Donna was showing you earlier, you can do assignments and you can do quizzes with your students, and that is between you and the student. So imagine you do the live lesson and you say to the students, okay, for homework, I want you to do the quiz in Edmodo, or maybe you're doing it in another platform, and we're just using that as an example. Now, the students go off, they do the quiz, they do the activities. You don't have to do anything. All of that is done by Edmodo. I come on the next day, I can look at all my students and I can look and see what have they done. Ah, so these students have done that activity. Ah, so these students have done that activity. Everything that my students do in the quizzes will be tracked. And when I get them to do an assignment, if I mark it, also the marks will be saved here. So you've got like basically a record of everything the students are doing online. I can even track their activity. I can track the quizzes, I can track the assignments, but I can even click here and I can look and see exactly what they've been writing and what they've been answering. So did they answer any of my posts? So I can look at the activity and say, okay, this is the posts from Sylvia. Good. Did she reply to anything? Ah, wow, yes, she did. She's been very active. Okay, I'm going to give her a badge. I'm going to give her some kind of award. So I can even be using Edmodo as a way. What I like about Edmodo is that it tracks my students and allows me to see what they've been doing. It takes a little time to set Edmodo up, but once you've got it set up, it's really quite easy to get to work with, and it can be very time saving. Okay, if we come back again onto the home page, let me just come back here. Oh, sorry. Okay, I don't know what happened there.
Sorry, Russell. Some of people missed how you got into the grading, the assessment part.
Right. Okay. Lovely. Brilliant. 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 So I'm just going to come back. Oh, hang on. We'll start. Obviously, when do you want to continue? So someone else is screen sharing. I don't know how that happened, but someone else is screen sharing. So I'm hoping. Right. Good. Okay. I'm going to just jump over now. Come back again. So all my students, everything they do, if I just roll up to the top here and come over to classes, and then I just roll, it's actually at the moment it's not working properly because of the screen sharing. It's not, but it's here, progress. If I click on progress, I go straight in to all of my classes, every class I've got many classes, okay, many different classes, and I can go into any of those classes and check the progress of the students. So it's just going classes, progress, okay? I'm going to give you a link at the end to some videos to help you to learn to use Edmodo if you want to use it. They're free videos. You know, I want to be careful here. I'm just suggesting that Edmodo is a good tool to use. It doesn't have to be Edmodo. It can be any platform that can organize your students, but you need that for when you've finished the Zoom lesson and you've still got a connection with your students. It's really important. Okay, so when I'm running all my classes, all the courses I run, I have two parts: live lesson, and then all the content on Zoom or on Moodle or on It's Learning or whatever technology that I use. So that aspect of working with a system is really nice. I'm just going to show you a few more things that kind of Donna did show you in a way. So I can always click on any of my classes. So if I click down on this class here, okay, so I come into the class, anything I share, anything I write, any videos, any links to Richmond's material or Richmond's videos or PDFs of the book, anything, I can share it immediately with my students. I just simply, as we said, just right here and then click and then post it. And I can, as I said, add any images, and Edmodo is very generous. You can even put a video of 100 megabytes straight into Edmodo for the students to watch, okay? Now, when you upload something, maybe that thing is important. And I know that kind of Donna showed you this, so you can click here and you can pin a post or unpin a post, just like in Facebook. So imagine that I've got this new assignment. I want the students to see that first. When they open Edmodo, I want them to see the assignment. So I can click and add that assignment and pin that to the top, pin post. Now, when the students come on, it doesn't matter what I've put on, the first thing they're going to see is the assignment. Now, another really good thing, if you're working with young learners, okay, you might be worried about what they're going to write on the screen. Okay, they might write something inappropriate, something that you don't like. It is possible that you can simply go up to here, click on advanced settings, and you can click on moderate all posts and replies. If you click on that choice, that means that your students, they can write something, but it will not appear on Edmodo until you have checked, said yes. It's very easy to do. I click on that setting, and then from that moment on, all I do when I open Edmodo is I click on notifications, and I will see a list. Look, it's one here. Perfect. Okay. Do I accept that? Yes, I do. And I click on and it accepts what that person's written. So you can have lots of posts and you can just quickly read it. Yeah, accept, 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 or approve or disapprove. So it's very, very easy to moderate your students if you're working with young learners and you're a little bit worried about what they might write on the screen. So it's a really powerful feature that you've got in Edmodo. Okay, Donna, I'm going to come back and just see if there's any more questions that I need to pick up on at the moment.
Well, Rashid has a. I don't think so. I'm trying to figure out what Rashid is concerned about, but I think they're following you, Russell. I think everything's fine.
Right, okay. Listen, let's talk a little bit more about security, because there's another good feature in this particular tool. Remember, this Edmodo was made for young learners. Edmodo was made for education. It's not like Google, which I like. Don't get me wrong, I like Google, all right? But it's not like Google as in it was kind of shaped to work in a Google Classroom. No, Edmodo was created for the purpose. It was almost Facebook for education. It was almost developed with the same kind of scenario. So, as an example, when you create an account in Edmodo, if I come in and screen share just one more time, and just come in a moment, okay, and I just screen share and I just jump back into Edmodo. If I just log out of my Edmodo account, which I can do here, if I now try to log in as a student, so I'm just going to quickly come onto Edmodo. Can I move this out of the way? Yes, I can. Good. Right, let me just see if I can get onto the home page of Edmodo. So I'm going to sign up for a free account. Hopefully it's going to give me the option to click and open the student account. Yeah, student account. Okay. When you're a student, you put your name, your last name, the class code that the teacher has given you. And just put a username like Russell 1999 or whatever. No email is required. And the student needs a login to remember so they can log back into Edmodo. So students do not need to give any email address at all. Just a name, a last name, class code. Now, once a student has got an account, once a student's actually got an account, okay, and in fact, if I click out, just stop sharing a minute and just show you this. Hang on a minute. If I just jump out and could quickly show you. Once a student has got an account, and I think I've actually got my student account open, I might be able to show you that as well here. This is a student account. Once a student, so this is like a student. I have a student account as well, so that I can practice teacher account, student account, so I can see how it looks. Once you've got a student account, you can join as many classes as you want. So all you need to do, let's say that you make an account and you've got one teacher. Then you go into another class and the teacher says, yeah, I'm also using Edmodo. The student doesn't need to create another account. They simply click on join class, put in the code of the class, and they can automatically join another class. And then they can go in another class and join another. So they create one account. They can be in many, 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 many classes. Exactly the same way as the teacher can create one account and have many, many, many classes. I have about 100. Okay, so it's a very easy system, and the students do not give their email address. There's a lovely feature as well for the students. When they're going through the material, so they look in and maybe they're in a class and someone shares something interesting. It might be an interesting video, it might be an interesting picture. Let's say, for example, just to take an example, I can click here and then I can click add post to backpack. In other words, if there are things that I like that I'm working through or I need them for my homework, I can just put them in my backpack. So the student has this backpack feature. So they can be working through Edmodo, find different things they need or the things they need for their homework. They just push them into their backpack. So I literally click on add post to backpack. And then if I come up to my backpack, then I will find that the things that I've saved are going to be in my backpack. So I can be putting videos in there and PDF files and quizzes and anything that I might need to do my homework that night. So it's almost like the student walking home with their backpack, but they're doing it digitally. Okay, it's kind of a good idea if you create an account in Edmodo to create a student account as well. Then you can log into your own classes and test them, which is something that I do all the time. If I just jump back again, so just going to stop sharing and come back and just show you one last thing. I'm just going to go here. I didn't see, you might have shown this, Donna. So let me just quickly see if I can come back in as a teacher a minute. So I'm just going to log back into my class. I should be able to do it from here. I think Donna did look at this, but I might have missed this just before I came in the room. With any of your groups, okay, so let's take an example here with this one here, because I use this for teacher training as well.
It didn't show them this, Russ.
Right, okay. If you come here, you can see all my folders. So I can create a folder, and this is really important. Again, this is about this whole idea. Yes, Zoom is great for teaching, but how are you going to organize your students? They want to do some revision. Or what about if you record the Zoom lesson, you want to share it in Edmodo? You need the two things. You need the platform and you need the live lesson, because here is where all my student content is. My students are doing a course with me. They can go to day 8. They've got all the connections to all the handouts, any videos, any links, any exercises from Richmond, any videos from Richmond I want to share. Everything is in the folders. So the folders is a really important feature because it helps me to organize the content for my students, and they can find the content. The Edmodo part is the psychological part of saying, I'm in a class. My folders are here. My discussion is here. My homework is here. Zoom is the teacher presence, connecting with the teacher, seeing your teacher in the class and having that feeling that you're in a lesson. But it's not the part after, the homework, the connection after. That is why you need both parts to make an online course successful. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing now. I don't know if that was any good in terms of kind of trying to make the point about how these technologies work. Was that?
Yeah, I think they're following you really well, Russell. There are two questions I think that you might be able to answer. One is that someone still had questions about the pinning, but they also have questions about the parent account.
Right, okay. I have to be honest, all right? I know I've been training people with Edmodo for many years, but very few of my teachers around the world ever ask me about the parent code. So I don't understand it really well. However, I can explain to you that when you have a student, for every student that logs in, you have a code for the parent as well. And the parent can't write in Edmodo, but they can see what their student has done, and also they can see what is on the public wall. So they can kind of, now the reason for this is that in some countries, teachers or parents are worried about the use of technology. Another really good thing about Edmodo is that you can have it on your mobile. So again, it's a very good way of communicating, though the mobile is not as good, of course, is not as good as when you log in on your computer, okay? Mobiles never have the same technology as a computer has. So the parent code is quite an interesting aspect. For example, if I jump back into my Edmodo, okay, I may be even able to show you this. I'm going to come into one of my classes. So let me just see if I can move that over there. So I'm going to come into one of my classes. Let's come into this class here. And I do, sorry, something happened there. You are viewing someone else's screens. Come on, someone else's screen.
This is very interesting.
Okay, this is because we got various people set up as. I can tell you what the reason for that, but this was stop other. Yes. Okay, that's because we got on the setting on Zoom here for some reason. You've got it set that everybody can screen share. So click on the share button. If I come back, all right, to members, if I come down here, I've got this connect parent, and I do believe that when I do that, I have to kind of connect with them. The system has changed a little bit, so I must admit I'm not the person to answer that question. But if they're logged in as a student, you can get a parent code that you can email to them, and they can log in and see what their students doing. Okay, it is potentially possible. The other thing is, right, that the pin is when you want to make sure that whatever you've put on the screen is always at the top. It's very easy to do. You click here, okay, any post, that I'm going to unpin this one, any post you want, if you want that post to be at the top because you want the students to see it, you simply click on any post you want and click on pin post. That post will always be at the top. So normally if I set some homework on Edmodo, I pin it to the top. So when the students come on, the first thing they see is that post. Okay, going to come back again. Is that okay?
Natalia says for a new pin, I need to unpin the one that's at the top.
Really good question, Natalia. No, you don't. If you just go to the one you want to pin, whatever you've got pinned will unpin, and what you pin new will pin up. You don't have to unpin before you pin. Just go to whatever you want to pin, just say pin post, and whatever is unpinned will suddenly be coming on the top.
Russell, would you mind showing them one more time how to hide the posts from the other students? Do you know which one I mean?
You cannot
hide comments, I think they asked.
Ah, okay. You can't hide comments. Any comments that are on the wall are public to everybody. But sometimes you might want to moderate the posts before they are written onto the screen. Okay, is that what you're asking about?
Let me see. Yeah, moderate. Martha says moderate.
Yeah, Martha, you're correct. All right, I can see that in the screen. Yeah, okay. What you do is click on, so I'm going to come back in again. All right, it's going to come into Edmodo. It's pretty easy. Don't forget, I'm going to give you some videos to help you with all these things at the end anyway. All right, so don't worry. I've got lots of free videos on my website that will show you how to do all of this. But if you simply go into any of your classes, click here and go to advanced settings. Okay, click here and go to advanced settings and simply click on moderate posts and replies. Click on save. When the students write, it will appear on their screen, but not on anybody else's. And then when you open Edmodo, you go to notifications and you just look and it will see accept, or approve, disapprove, approve, disapprove, approve, disapprove, approve. You just quickly read them, say approve, 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 disapprove, and that is what will then immediately go on the screen. It's a very easy system to use. I've only ever used it very, very infrequently. I sometimes work with teenagers. I've never had any problems with teenagers. I did use it a little while ago. I was doing some teaching in Italy. I thought, okay, I'm going to put it on just in case. But there was nothing indiscreet, and in the end, I took it off. So there's nothing for me to worry about here. Because if someone writes something bad, you know who it is anyway. So you've got a lot of control. You've got even control as well. If when a student posts something, if I just quickly come into one of my classes, okay, so let me just come into, for example, this class here. When a student posts something, I can come in to that post and I can delete the post, I can edit the post, so I can always edit and comment and say, you know, please don't write things like this, or I can delete the post. So you have a lot of control. You can moderate posts, you can delete posts, you can edit posts. You have a lot of control as a teacher over what is being written on the system.
All right, so Russell, this other question that keeps coming up, I don't know if you're going to be able to answer this or not. This may be a question for Jimena. They're asking about plagiarism and copyright. No, sorry, just let's talk about copyright.
Right, all right, obviously, this is a really good question to discuss with Richmond Publishing, because I don't know. I realize that a lot of the publishing companies are saying under the circumstances that if they're told, you know, but Richmond can tell me that. When you share something from the internet, as in you share a link to a website, or you share or you embed a video into Edmodo, sorry, there is no copyright issue. I have hundreds of videos on YouTube. If somebody takes my video and puts it into Edmodo, there is no copyright issue, because they are not downloading that content into Edmodo. They are simply linking to it from the internet. That was the whole basis of the internet, that we share links and content. There is a big difference between you physically downloading my video and uploading it onto Edmodo. So you have a copy of my video. That is illegal. If you go to my YouTube channel and link to Edmodo from my YouTube channel, there is no infringement of copyright. So you need to understand, unless you're grabbing a physical copy of something, you don't need to worry. Obviously, when it comes to downloading content from the publishers, you will need permission from them. I'm sure someone at Richmond Publishing can answer that question better than I can.
I'm here. Most of our additional resources like audio, video, photocopyables, etc., are already downloadable. They're meant for teachers to be able to use outside our platforms. So don't worry about those. Don't worry about audio files, video. You can download them and upload them later to whatever other platform you're working with. If you're working with the Richmond Learning Platform, you've got everything in there. Video, audio to either stream or to download for future use offline. I think the bigger question here is when it comes to text, many of you are already working with our e-books, with digital books, with our e-workbooks, digital students books. If you're not, you wouldn't need, as we were going over with Donna at the beginning of the session, to make certain screenshots or to copy and paste certain questions into your platforms, because it would be the only way for you to have access to a digital version of print materials that students might have. But if you're working with some of our titles, you already have your digital books. Students might have their digital e-workbooks to access online, so you will need to copy content. Yeah.
Okay, but Jimena, question. For instance, the examples I was using today was from one of your books.
Yeah.
I scanned the books in. Now, is there any problem doing that?
I would really need to ask, because there might be books with rights and, but I would need to find out. But at the moment, given the circumstance, I don't think we would have a problem. But the problem would be print materials, right? Scanning and making print materials available. But I don't think that if you take a screenshot only, that would be a major problem. But I would really need to ask our legal department how we are going to deal with it during this crazy times.
Okay, because what I mentioned to them is that if the school has already bought the books, then I don't see why they would object to you in this crazy time to scanning them in for the online platform.
Because all you're doing is projecting them, and we do have projectable books, right, for teachers to project on screens. But still, I need to ask the question. But for now, let's not worry about it.
A couple of really interesting issues there that Jimena's bringing up as well, okay, which we'll come into tomorrow. When you've got a publishing company like Richmond that has got digital versions of the book, then that's brilliant for when you're using Zoom, because you can open up the interactive whiteboard software or the PDF or the digital version of the book and then work with it live. So that can be a really effective way of using these technologies that many of the publishing companies provide. And when I made the point as well, I obviously don't know so much, and I want to make this point very importantly, about the particular products that Richmond have, but this platform part doesn't have to be Edmodo. It could be a platform that Richmond provide, but what you do need is this psychological place that your students go after the live session, where their homework is, where their quizzes are, where their activities are, and possibly a place where they can share content and have discussions with their students. That's what that platform does. It could be Edmodo, it could be the Richmond Publishing one, it could be Moodle, it could be It's Learning. But certainly online delivery requires two parts to be successful, okay?
It looks like we're almost out of time, but what I think Russell and I would both like is to know if you have any priorities for tomorrow or Wednesday's session. Now's the time to let us know, please.
I was just gonna, sorry, just one really last thing. I was going, but while you're doing that, I'm just gonna really quickly, if people do want sort of help, if you want, what I've done is I've got a handout here. Let me just quickly open that up, okay? It's just going to help you. Sorry, next page. This one here. I've got a handout here I've got some very popular videos. They're free. They're completely free that help teachers to use Edmodo and Zoom. I'll show you this again tomorrow. But if you email me at teachertrainingvideos@gmail.com, you will, and just say Richmond in the subject, I am blah, blah, blah from blah, blah, blah. I will send you the handout, and it's got some useful links to videos about Edmodo and videos about Zoom. Nothing else. That's all there is there. Okay, but they might help you. They're all free. You can find them anyway on YouTube and on my website, but you might find those useful. Yeah, teachertrainingvideos@gmail.com, and I will send you, it will be automatic, it will send you a handout, and that handout has got some nice links to get you started. Okay, just wanted to point that out because I know a lot of people at the moment are panicking. One of my videos on Zoom, I think it's been played 170,000 times. So there's a lot of teachers out there trying to learn to use Zoom and trying to learn to use Edmodo. Okay. Right, go on.
Right.
Sorry about that, Donna.
No, it's fine. Jimena, is there any way they can send you a message if they have doubts about today's session, and you can send it to us?
Absolutely. I'm just going to type my email address here in the chat room. Some of the teachers here know who I am. Hang on here. I'm typing in my email address, and please feel free to send us your questions in preparation for tomorrow's session.
I mean, tomorrow's session, well, I think the idea was we were going to focus on Zoom.
Yes.
So we've done the platform today. We're going to do Zoom tomorrow, and then the third day was to link the two together, Donna. Was that right?
Yes, absolutely.
So tomorrow we're Zooming. Is that right?
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're Zooming.
They ask you, all right, we're gonna, Victor, I'm gonna write that down for tomorrow, whether Skype and all, because we've got, I think Jimena has to close the platform for now, but thank you all so much for connecting. And we'll see you tomorrow. As we said, Russell is going to go into more advanced features. We're going to start with Zoom, and I'm going to give you some ideas on how to make these activities more exciting.
So I will be here at 3 o'clock tomorrow, not 4 o'clock, okay? 3 o'clock. I'm so sorry to everyone. Completely my fault. I really do apologize. Just because of the change and what was in my Google Calendar, I came in thinking I was coming at 4. Tomorrow I will be on at 3, but I think it worked out anyway. I'm very sorry.
It did work out. It was, yeah. Thank you all so much.